The last speaker, and I really appreciate your patience, having heard to several of the previous speakers. But like each one of you sitting here, you all must have been thinking of what would you like to be in the future. I was also in the same situation maybe 3 decades ago. Having been born and brought up in a city, had never ventured into any slums or in the villages. Also wanted to be a big officer, wanted to do something, wanted to show my parents that I can also be a big officer. I cleared my master's, appeared for the Indian Administrative Services, and accidentally tumbled into SEWA. There will be several of you here who may have stories which turned your life around. So do I. Today, I'm going to share with you the stories of 2 or 3 women, depending on how much patience we all have, which turned my life around. Working with women like them, some 2 million of them today, it has made me believe that poor themselves can move out of poverty. While I was moving around in the villages in Banaskantha, this was in the early 80s in the North Gujarat, I came across households where every woman had embroidery skills. And yet they were all working on the earth digging sites. Every woman had an embroidery skill, and yet they were all working on the earth digging sites. They would hardly earn 75 rupees a month. There was a skill which had the potential to turn into a livelihood. There I came across Puriben, a born leader and a fearless pioneer. I told Puriben that if she could bring some women together who were willing to embroider, I could bring work for them for a fair pay. Puriben and 4 other women, they got together and embroidered kurtas. And in the very first week, they earned 150 rupees and they earned 500 rupees a month. That too sitting at home. The word spread around, and next time around, more women joined. Puriben started moving from village after village, and in less than 2 years' time, she organized 50,000 women who had craft and embroidery skills. All these 15,000 women, all illiterate. But today, they are the owners and managers of their own company, the SEWA Trade Facilitation Center. A skilled artisan today at SEWA Trade Facilitation Center earns 10,000 rupees a month. When women were only earning 75 rupees, the migration has now stopped. The women and their households have assets, land, tractor, water pumps, savings, insurance, education of the children has improved, and women now do not migrate and their families do not migrate at all. This is 21-year-old Rubeena from Kashmir. She had lost her father in the political turmoil. Rubeena wanted to study, but still she had to drop out of school to help her mother with the daily household chores. Worries about the future of their family plagued her day and night. But she was lucky to have an opportunity. Rubeena, in a group of 25 women, came to Gujarat to take a month-long training in assembling and repairing solar lights. Villages around her hometown of Kupwara in Kashmir rarely have electricity, and women have to bear the responsibility of collecting firewood for cooking and heating. Rubeena was eager, therefore, to bring solar lights to her villages so that women like her mother were relieved from the drudgery of collecting firewood. When she was Looking and listening to the struggles and the life stories of other women, it made Reema realize that indeed she is strong. She can make a difference. She returned back to Kupwara and organized a self-help group to assemble and sell solar lights. The men none too happy that a young girl like Reema, now starting a new enterprise and initiative, they challenged her. If you're any good, repair this light. They pointed to the solar light in the mosque, which was not working for 2 years. Humbly, she accepted the challenge. Quietly, she set to work. In a flash, the solar light started working. The Maulvi, the clergyman himself, was so impressed that he walked to her house to felicitate her. His endorsement opened doors for many more women like Reema in Kashmir. This is Kapila Ben, a 36-year-old widow, a mother of 3 children. She grows lily flowers. She became a widow and therefore had lost all hopes in life. She felt vulnerable. She has to make her flowers reach the market by before 7 a.m. in the morning. She starts plucking the lily flowers at 4 a.m. in the morning. But yet, she has to depend on the trader or the middleman. When 5 tons of lily flowers fetch 40,000 rupees in the market, Kapila Ben was paid only 15,000 rupees by the trader. She became a member of the self-help group in her village. She started saving only 2 rupees a day, and every year she increased the amount. But coming together made her realize that she's not alone. There are several women like her, and she could also make a difference in her life. Then she decided to buy a cell phone from her savings. She took out a loan, bought a cell phone. Why? She wanted to connect with the different markets and find out which market was offering what price for the lily flowers. Today, Kapila Ben earns 60,000 rupees as against the 15,000 that the trader was offering. Kapila Ben was invited by the then Secretary of State to share her own experience of how a small farmer, when has a direct access to market, using a small technology like a cell phone, which we just take it for granted, how it changes the life. Today, Kapila Ben is the president of SEWA, elected by 2 million members of SEWA. She is spearheading the initiative called Rudy. It's our agribusiness initiative. She has a cadre of 3,000 women sales force, which we call it as our Rudy Ben, who go door-to-door marketing, and they touch 1 million households, ensuring food security to these households. Rudy procures directly from 25,000 farmers, grades it, processes it, packages it, and redistributes it to 1 million households. It not only generates the economic situation in the villages, it generates environmental situation, it inculcates fair returns to the small farmers, and generates employment opportunities. So how do women like Kapila Ben, Reema and Puri Ben get the strength they needed? At SEWA, we believe in the collective strength. So today we have several enterprises owned by the construction workers called Racheta and Nirman. The waste collectors who not only just collect waste but recycle, it's called Gitanjali, and today they sell to Staples. So this is what we call is a women-to-women organizing. It's people's participation and partnership. We are only the facilitators. This is SEWA. We all need to recognize the new age entrepreneurs like Kapila Ben, Puri Ben and Reema Ben. We need to build partnerships with their enterprises, invest in them. When women come together, they are able to build their collective strength. When women are organized at SEWA, they are able to take out small loans, they are able to build infrastructure, create access to market, have education, have better health care, and that's how they move out of poverty. It brings economic security, it brings dignity, it brings self-respect to these women and their households. At SEWA, we come together as poor, as women, and as workers, no matter what caste or community or religion they belong to. It is therefore that these women like Kabila Ben, Rubina, and Puri Ben are spearheading the organizing of women across the boundaries now in Afghanistan, in Sri Lanka, in Nepal, Pakistan, Bhutan, and Maldives. We call it women to women organizing. We believe in the collective strength of women. A woman may be poor, she may be vulnerable, but a woman is a survivor. And therefore, she is able to take on new challenges and risks that life may bring to her. Women feel economically secure, and we call it as the Dusri Azadi, the second freedom for the women. And that's why when women come together, they stand united and say, Hum sab ek hai. May I request you all also to join in supporting these women by saying, Hum sab ek hai. Hum sab